Some stories sound too good to be true, like a crab boat captain pulling in $1 million in just a few short weeks. The allure of striking it rich on the open sea has drawn generations of fishermen to the icy waters of the Bering Sea, each hoping for their own windfall. A single successful season chasing king crab in these treacherous waters can indeed line a captain's pockets with more money than most people see in a decade. The numbers are staggering. Hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions, earned in a matter of weeks. It's the kind of payday that can change a life, or at least pay off a mortgage. But here's the thing about lotteries. Most tickets don't win. For every story of a massive haul, there are countless tales of empty pots and dashed hopes. The sea gives, but it also takes away, often without warning. For every captain celebrating a record haul, there are dozens of deckhands who walk away with just enough to get by until the next season. The work is grueling and the rewards are never guaranteed. Many spend their earnings on bills, repairs, and simply making it through the long off-season. This isn't a desk job with paid holidays and a 401k. There's no safety net, no steady paycheck, and no guarantee you'll even make it home with a profit, or at all. The ocean doesn't care about your plans or your dreams. It's a force of nature, unpredictable and unforgiving, and it can humble even the most experienced crew in an instant. It's a brutal, indifferent force that can turn a profitable trip into a life-or-death struggle in the blink of an eye. One moment, you're hauling in pots brimming with crab. The next, you're fighting to keep your boat upright in a raging storm. The high pay is hazard pay, pure and simple. Every dollar earned is a dollar risked, a reward for braving conditions that most people can't even imagine. Imagine working for 20 hours straight, with only a few moments to grab a bite to eat or a quick nap. Fatigue is constant, and the cold seeps into your bones, but the work never stops. Your office is a pitching, rolling deck, slick with ice and seawater. Every step is a risk, every task a test of endurance and focus. Every task, from baiting pots to hauling in the catch, is a repetitive, muscle-straining motion performed in freezing temperatures and howling winds. Injuries are common, and mistakes can be deadly. The Untold Story is about the people who bet their lives against the sea season after season for a chance at a better life. They are driven by hope, grit, and the promise of something more than just a paycheck. The real treasure isn't just the crab, it's the sheer human will it takes to bring it to our tables. Every meal is a testament to the courage, sacrifice, and relentless determination of those who dare to seek riches from the deep. Let's travel from the icy Bering Sea to the murky waters of the Chesapeake Bay. Here, the prize is the blue crab, a smaller, feistier creature. The watermen of Maryland and Virginia have built their lives around this iconic crustacean. The primary tool of the trade is the crab pot, large cages with funnel-like openings. A day's work involves motoring from one buoy to the next, using a hydraulic winch to hoist the heavy crab-filled pots onto the deck. Profitability in the blue crab industry is a delicate balance. The most valuable are the jimmies, the large, heavy male crabs, but the real money comes from peeler crabs, crabs about to shed their shells. Catching a crab at the exact moment it sheds its shell creates a soft-shell crab, a delicacy that can fetch a high price. The watermen of the Chesapeake are farmers of the sea, their lives dictated by the tides, the seasons, and the mysterious cycles of the blue crab. It's a hard-earned living, deeply woven into the cultural fabric of the region. The Chesapeake Bay is a beautiful, complex ecosystem, but it's also a fragile one. Pollution from cities and farms fuels massive algae blooms, creating dead zones where marine life cannot survive. For the watermen, these dead zones are like barren deserts where their pots come up empty. As if pollution wasn't enough, the blue crabs face another formidable enemy invasive species. The blue catfish, a voracious predator, devours everything in its path, including young blue crabs. The combination of pollution, habitat loss, and invasive predators has created a perfect storm for the blue crab population. The numbers fluctuate wildly, making it nearly impossible for watermen to plan for the future. They are caught in a vice, squeezed between rising operational costs and a dwindling, unpredictable resource. Their fight is not just for their own livelihood, but for the health of the bay itself. Let's journey to Hokkaido, Japan, a region famed for its pristine waters and legendary seafood, where the ultimate prize is the mighty red king crab. Here, the pursuit of this ocean giant is more than just a job. It's a way of life, passed down through generations of fishermen. The fishing grounds lie in the Sea of Okhotsk, a notoriously rough and icy body of water that tests even the most seasoned crews. In winter, the sea transforms into a frozen battlefield, with biting winds and towering waves threatening to halt the hunt at any moment. Hokkaido fishermen rely on a method called longlining with pots, deploying a single incredibly long line along the ocean floor. This technique allows them to cover vast stretches of seabed, maximizing their chances of a bountiful catch. Attached to this line are massive circular steel pots, each weighing hundreds of pounds. These pots are specially designed to withstand the crushing pressure of the deep and the relentless pounding of the waves. The process of retrieving the gear is where the real work begins. Each pot must be hauled up from the depths, often in freezing temperatures and slippery conditions. The crew locates one end of the long line and hooks it to a powerful hydraulic block, a machine that becomes their lifeline as it hauls the heavy gear from the ocean's grip. For hours, the winch groans and strains, pulling the line and the attached pots from the deep, while the crew stands ready, bracing against the cold spray and the rolling deck. Each crab can weigh over 20 pounds, with a leg span of several feet. Their sheer size and strength make them a formidable catch, and a single pot can yield a writhing mass of these crimson giants. On deck, the crew works with frantic efficiency, sorting the catch, rebaiting the pots, and stacking them for the next deployment. Every movement is calculated as time is precious and the sea is unforgiving. The value of their catch is immense. A single large king crab can be worth hundreds of dollars. For many families, a successful haul means financial security for the entire year. A successful trip can bring in a fortune, but the window of opportunity is small, the season is short, and competition is fierce, with every crew racing against time and the elements. It's a grueling, high-pressure job that demands strength, endurance, and courage. For these fishermen, every journey is a test of willpower and teamwork, as they face the relentless sea in pursuit of the king crab's elusive bounty. The risks in king crab fishing in Hokkaido are immense, and every season brings new dangers. For those who set out on these icy waters, the hunt for the king crab is not just a job, it's a test of endurance, skill, and sheer willpower. The primary adversary is the weather, with violent storms that can whip up monstrous waves. These tempests can appear suddenly, turning a calm sea into a churning, unpredictable nightmare in a matter of minutes. A rogue wave can sweep a man overboard into lethally cold water. In these frigid conditions, survival time is measured in minutes, and rescue is never guaranteed. Then there is the relentless, bone-deep cold that never lets up. The wind cuts through every layer and the chill seeps into your bones, making even the simplest tasks feel impossible. Temperatures on deck often plummet far below freezing, and the spray from the waves turns to ice. Every surface becomes slick and treacherous, and the weight of accumulating ice threatens to capsize the vessel if not constantly broken away. The machinery itself poses another significant danger. The winches, cables, and heavy pots are unforgiving, and a single mistake can have devastating consequences. A snapped cable can whip across the deck with enough force to cut a person in two. The tension in every line is a silent threat, always lurking just beneath the surface. The crew must move with a practiced precision, always aware of their surroundings. Every member relies on the others, and trust is built through shared hardship and constant vigilance. A moment of inattention can lead to a catastrophic accident. On this deck, there is no room for complacency. Every step must be measured, every action deliberate. One fisherman, Kenji, shared a story of a storm that hit them without warning. He remembers the fear in the eyes of his crewmates as the wind howled and the boat pitched violently. The waves were like mountains, he said, his eyes distant. Each one threatened to swallow the boat whole, and every second felt like an eternity. We were working to secure the pots on deck when a huge one crashed over the side. The roar of the water drowned out every other sound, and chaos erupted in an instant. It took my friend, swept him right off his feet. In that moment, all training and experience are put to the ultimate test. This is the stark reality beneath the surface of the lucrative king crab industry. Every crab hauled aboard is a testament to the crew's courage and sacrifice. It's a gamble where the stakes are not just financial, but life and death. For these fishermen, the hunt for the king is a battle against nature itself, fought with grit, determination, and the hope of returning home. Beyond crabs, another prize lurks in the cold waters: the halibut. Catching them is a challenge governed by regulations and the sea. The primary method is longlining, with hooks instead of pots. The halibut fishery is heavily regulated to prevent overfishing. In Alaska, the fishery is managed by an individual fishing quota system. This system has helped stabilize the halibut population but created a high barrier to entry. Fishermen are not just hunters of the sea, they are also business managers. Trade disputes and international agreements can cause the price of halibut to swing wildly. It's a complex gamble, where success depends on navigating bureaucracy as much as the ocean. When the sun goes down, the squid boats come to life. Squid are attracted to light, a behavior fishermen exploit with high-intensity lamps. The scene is surreal, a patch of brilliant daylight in the middle of a black ocean. The most common method uses automated jigging machines. These machines deploy multiple lines with brightly colored jigs. When a squid attacks a jig, it gets snagged, and the machine reels it in. A single boat can have dozens of these machines running at once. The crew works through the night, monitoring the machines and sorting the catch. There are significant sustainability concerns associated with squid fishing. Squid are a vital part of the marine food web, and overfishing can have cascading effects. It's a high-tech harvest with complex consequences. In warmer waters, fishermen pursue grouper and octopus. Grouper are large fish that live around underwater structures. Catching them often requires bottom long lining or vertical hook and line. Octopus fishing relies on the creature's intelligence and curiosity. Fishermen lower long lines of empty pots to the seabed. Octopuses crawl inside, seeking shelter, and are pulled up later. This is a passive and sustainable fishing method with almost zero bycatch. Grouper and octopus populations face serious threats from overfishing and habitat destruction. The challenge is to harvest these resources without causing their collapse. It requires smart regulation, responsible fishing practices, and understanding the underwater world. Beneath the surface of the seafood we enjoy, there's a world of hidden costs. In some corners of the global fishing industry, labor practices can be horrific. Fishermen, often migrant workers, are trapped in a cycle of debt bondage. This is a world of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. These pirate vessels decimate fish populations and create an unfair market. Tracing the origin of our seafood becomes incredibly difficult. Honest fishermen are caught in the middle, struggling to balance making a living with being stewards of the sea. They see the changes firsthand: the pollution, the declining stocks, the shifting climate. As we look to the future, we must ask, how do we support hardworking fishermen while ensuring sustainable practices? The answer lies in the difficult space between our appetite and our responsibility.